What's up, guys? So this is the marker partner video to my loadout. Real quick, I apologize for any dust you see. I've got a ring light literally right next to the webcam, so it is it's picking up some of the dust that's moving around up here next to this light, which is kind of frustrating, but oh well. On the table here are some of the misfits, if you want to call them that. The only gun that's here that I don't currently have that I did own was a Milsig M17, which that'll all be part of an upcoming video, I think. This is my TMC. It has been partsed out, kind of. Different people using different things. The barrel's gone, stock's gone, handguard's gone. So this is kind of just how it lives currently. Everything still works. I've never had any issues with the gun itself. The magazines are another story. But it is here. The other thing that's here is the Tippmann A5. I have personally never used this. We bought this for my girlfriend to use, and she very quickly wanted to go Magfed instead, so this has only been used a handful of times. We bought this used. Everything still works just fine. We've never had any problems with it, the handful of people that have used this. But it's not a bad thing to keep around, having an electronic gun, cyclone feed, so this also just kind of stays out of the way, stays in the corner because it does function. We'll get into some of the girlfriend stuff that does live around here, and then we'll get into my stuff that does get used, / some of the more niche things that I have. Alright, so this is the Tippmann TCR. This was what we moved to for her to go Magfed. I got this, it was basically brand new. It was still in the box. I got this used, technically off Craigslist for like $300, which was fine. I don't have any problems with that price. And this thing's been great. We took a couple of the couple of the things off that she didn't really want on here. So it is pretty bare bones now, especially because she's moved on to bigger, different things. I'm not gonna say better things, probably better things, but this also hangs out. This is something I'm happy to own because they don't exist anymore, and I do think they're pretty cool little submachine gun looking things. I wish they had not discontinued these because they are pretty cool. But that moves me into her primary gun now. This is the EMF 100 in the limited blue, which looks really good. She's got blue accents, and this was what she decided on. Obviously, these are incredible guns. Markers. They are super, super reliable. They have probably some of the best consistency you can get when it comes to Magfed. You can't really say much more about these that haven't been said already, other than the fact that they're incredible guns for what they are. The only downside is no full auto that I'm aware of, but that's fine for her. She doesn't want it or need it, I guess. So this is what she's rocking now. She's got one of these, and then the rest are just regular D-mags, 10 and 10. So she's got one of the new 20 rounds. This is what they come with now, so that's pretty cool of them to include one of these. So this is something that usually turns some heads, or I get questions about, and people seem to be pretty interested in. And this is a Hammer 7 that I have converted into a bolt action. I don't play with this. Honestly, my play style just doesn't really fit playing with this a whole lot. I'll get to that in a little bit, and I'll make a reference to this, but this is all custom. So gun chopped. Honestly, I got this off a Facebook group for dirt cheap when it comes to what the Hammer 7 sell for. Everything works perfectly, and then just spent some time dremeling this stuff out. This is a prototype, I guess, until I could find somebody to metalwork. But this is the bolt handle, which, you know, it does what it's supposed to, but Doesn't look the best in the world, but hey, that's not the point, I guess. Just a bipod, primarily for the looks, to kind of complete that aesthetic. And then this is the Lapco universal mock suppressor, so it's just threaded onto a little ring. And then this is just some generic longer barrel that I could get, because again, I don't play with this. It's kind of just something I like to own. One, because they're discontinued, two, because it's customly done. And then this funky trigger group in here, this is just a L-shaped, you can kind of see it right there, that is attached to the bottom of the existing trigger. And this also works just fine. I have not converted this to D-mags. I don't know. I don't mind the funky little spider mag, so this is probably just going to stay as it is, to be honest. Someday somebody will play with this. It will get taken out onto a field, but I don't know if it'll be me, to be honest. So now I've got one more thing, and then we'll get to what I actually play with on a regular basis. That's this guy right here. So I bought this. I played with it twice, and then I decided to move to what my sidearm is currently. These are great pistols. They're just a little big. I've got the remote. We thought we were going to use this a bit more, so we got this in here. Ended up not going that route. Again, we've got plenty of Zeta mags. But this is the second one of these that I've owned, and if the time came, I wouldn't be opposed to owning some more of them. I like these better than the FSC, but I'm also a smaller person, so that giant FSC grip is a little too big for me. This is what I use currently. This is a Walther Umarex PPQ. These things are super cool. We've actually all converted to these, so everybody on the team uses these. We've got 4. One of the tan, 2 of the tan, and 2 of the blacks, and these have been great. Obviously, they're not super accurate over range. They shoot 43 cal. Magazines are a little expensive, but I don't really mind. I've got this and 2 backup mags, and honestly, it's just so much fun to shoot, even if it's not the most effective thing. It's too cool getting actual recoil when you shoot. Not recoil, but the slide movement. It just feels good. So this is what we've all moved to, and this is paired with a SciTac universal holster on Amazon if you're looking for a holster for this. I do not have that holster close by, so I've got 2 more things to show you, and they're both my kind of primary things. So I'll start with the more interesting of the 2 and then get to my T15. So this is actually the same Hammer 7 that was seen in my AVP event. Obviously, it has had one major change, which I did recently, and I'm pretty happy with the way it came out. But this just takes the standard spider mags, which, yeah, they're not great, but, you know, they're okay for what it is. This is my main backup marker, really. I was shooting first strikes out of this the whole time at that event, and it was also the first time I'd played with it, and I think I was pumping it a little too quick, so that's something to get used to. Up here, this is a Magpul 870 4-end pump, I believe. Basically chopped down, I don't have that piece nearby either. I chopped down the existing pump, which you can kind of see the little piece right there, and then dremeled down until it slid into the back, which this is some silicone stuff that is drying to hopefully just add a little bit more structure or a little bit more set to it. I was going to do 2 screws. I didn't like the way it sat with the 2 screws, so I've only got the 1, which that will hopefully be black at some point. This was done pretty recently, so that is just what it is. This is on here mainly to brace against. I don't use things like this, so I can pump that like that. But these things are super cool. If you ever have the chance to pick up a Hammer 7 and you like Magfed, definitely do. They're a fun thing to use. Also, it's just got the stock barrel in it. I've never had issues with it. It was fine shooting first strikes. Round ball would probably be a different story, but this isn't really for round ball. So, and then back here, this is a test, honestly. I don't know if this is going to stay like this, but it's here for now. These are just empty shells. And then this opens. So this, again, was just some cheap little thing off of Amazon. Not really more I can say about this other than this little hollow sight, which was maybe 40 bucks off eBay and is questionable. But again, this is kind of just a backup. It'll do what it's supposed to. The issue I have, which I don't know if I can get this in here. Well, actually that moving out of the way worked. You can kind of see it's incredibly reflective. It's too dark. The tint on it is too dark. So, yeah, in the sun, that's going to be a bit of an issue. But let me fix this light up here, and then I'll bring you my T15. All right, so this is my primary marker. This is a First Strike T15. I bought this, again, I've had pretty good luck buying used things. When I bought this, they were completely out of stock everywhere, which they might still be, actually. I found this practically brand new from a dude. It had only been used twice, and it looked like it had only been used twice. Got it for a reasonable price, and immediately just kind of went to town on it, honestly. There was kind of no brakes held. I have this mounted to the ASA lightly. It's not super snug on here. This is the MCS Universal Guide Rod. I do not like the First Strike adhesive floating stock, and now that I've upgraded to the tank that I have, that wouldn't have worked anyway. So this is here instead of on the tank in case I ever wanted to run an extra bottle, which again, now that I have this, not as much of a thing, but I like having the bar here. I've never had an issue with this bar, so that doesn't bug me. And then this is the MCA stock. I'm not sure about that, but this is an MCS butt stock, and it is slid over a First Strike 15 by 4500 bottle, which I couldn't use the floating stock because it has the rounded carbon fiber end at the bottom, so that wouldn't have worked anyways. This is a Magpul a Magpul pistol grip. This is probably one of the more comfortable things that you can do to your T15, because that little nub that's on the stock AR pistol grip is just terrible, for me at least. And then I also have a Magpul curved trigger guard, which honestly just kind of changes the whole silhouette, even though it is such a small piece. But this is one of my more favorite things that I have done. These are just some flip-up sights, because if I'm going for realism, which is what I am doing, not having sights, flip-up sights, the flat top just looks a little bit funky, so these are on here. They don't get used. They just stay down just to add to the aesthetic, really. This is a 1-inch riser, and honestly, this riser is a little bit taller than an inch, but it's not an inch and a half. And then this is just a generic mini red dot off of Amazon. I don't know if it's gonna stay. It's been fine so far. It's just there are some occasions I would like to have something a bit bigger in diameter, but that's neither here nor there. This is a fake pec box. It's just hollow. There's nothing to it. It's just for looks, because again, I like things to look real and feel real. I don't want to pay the money for a real one. I just kind of like the aesthetic, and this might get replaced with a run cam anyways at some point. But these are like 12 bucks on Amazon. They're just plastic hollow pec replicas, really. And then here, this is where my selfie cam goes, my GoPro. Right now I'm running a Hero 8 on the front and a Hero 7 on my mask, which, yeah, don't ask. They most of the time look the same, so I haven't bothered to change them. So Hero 8 on the front. This is a pretty cool M-lock Picatinny mount, which I could take this screw out and just take the arm off if I didn't want to run the camera that day and just have a tiny rail, so I don't have to take the entire thing apart. And then right next to that is a QD sling mount for my sling, which I guess I'll go ahead and touch on now. So this sling is, I think it was like 25-30 bucks, and it is a quick adjust sling. So it's got a hoop that you can pull and tighten it down. I got this so I could cinch it to my body basically if I needed to do stuff, or I can loosen it, sling it on my shoulder to get air, put my mask on, do whatever, right? Most of the time when I'm playing, because I do like to swap hands, this is just flat on the side of my gun, and it more or less stays out of the way. I don't really have any issues with it, just kind of be in there, because, you know, it doesn't bother me any. So this is a nice, honestly, quality of life, being able to just adjust the sling on the fly like that. If you guys are interested, let me know. I'll try to find the link for this, and I'll put it in a comment if somebody wants it. It also came with QDs on each end and 2 of these little M-lock QD mounts. So it came with 2 mounts. They have QD on both ends, and the sling was like 30 bucks. This is a off-brand Magpul angled grip. That's just the way that I've always preferred the front of my gun. I like the silhouette that it cuts, but I also like the way it feels. There's kind of a lot going on here, so this might change at some point because this is kind of right where my thumb goes. But right above that, there is a pressure pad for my light, and that's just ran down, and I'll show you that on the other side. Here, this is a cheap Amazon light that we got just in case there was some night game. We were unclear of one of the events we were going to, so I got this just in case. It's mounted forward because I think that looks the best. And then the cable is routed up under the light and down around the barrel. This is a 12-inch First Strike M-lock handguard, and inside of it is a First Strike Lapco Freak barrel. So this is the Freak back, First Strike Lapco partnered thing with the Hush front end, and this is the suppressor that comes on the DMR variant for the T15. I don't know if you can even actually buy this on its own. Now that I think about it, you might be able to, but I know the ported one is the more common, which I have that also. I like the solid look. And then we're running V2 mags, which I label all of my mags, which this one's all smudged, but all of my mags have labels on them just in case I have issues. I can watch back in footage, see which one it was, and maybe fix whatever that issue might have been. I don't think I'm missing anything on this other than, because you can't see it, I do have the full auto kit installed. It honestly takes some getting used to. There's a learning curve to it for sure, but the full auto in this is honestly some of the most fun that I've had shooting any of these. It's just, it feels good. It's got a more, the T15 already has more kick than some guns, and that just adds to that. It just feels good to shoot, sounds good, and now that I've kind of got it tuned in, I'm not having too many issues with it. Well, let's hope it stays that way, but the T15 is a bit of a problem child in some cases, so if you do get one of these, expect to have some problems. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I've done lots of troubleshooting with this guy right here, so there might be some stuff that I have figured out that might help you out if you are interested. I think that is going to do it. That is all of my guns and my girlfriend's guns. If you have any questions about any of them, feel free to ask. I'll try to answer them best I can. If you want a more in-depth video on one of these, let me know. I can do that too. But this is anything and everything that you might see in my videos at some point. We might be looking to get a diadem at some point, just so we have a little bit more firepower at some of these events. That's still to be determined, but let me know if you got any questions or anything in the comments below. Other than that, like, subscribe. If you want to check out my gear that I wear, check out the video previous to this. I'll link it at the end of this video if you want to check that out. So I'll see you guys in the next gameplay, probably. Until then, see ya.
The power of the dark side.